Jim Halterman.
Okay, this is a good room. I like this room. It feels good. What do you guys think of this episode? I know we didn't show you the whole first episode, but that's only because we have the cast and the producers here to find out more of what's coming in all of season 2. So I'm going to start bringing people out. First up, executive producer Darren Swimmer. Executive producer Todd Slavkin. Executive producer Manfredi. Executive producer Hale. Are you guys ready? He plays Constance Contra. Please welcome Marta Kessler. He plays Kate Weatherall. Welcome Emmy DeOliveira. He plays George Sticky Washington. Welcome Seth Carr. Welcome, Incho. You guys, number 2 is here. Please welcome Kristen Schaal. And he's a producer, and he stars as both Mr. Benedict and LD Curtin. Welcome, Tony Hale. I'm jumping right in because as you guys all saw, the show really, boom, stuff happens right off the bat. My first question is actually from Mystic. Are you ready? So there's so much in the show that everybody can relate to, and we see that he's concerned and he feels feelings because he hasn't heard from Sticky while they're away. Can you talk about that and what he's going to do to try and resolve that situation?
Yeah, so Rainey, like in between season 1 and season 2, he's just been chilling with his paramour. He's in his happy place basically, but he does really miss his friends. So in season 2, he reunites with them, and it's all a really great time. But everything goes awry after Mr. Benedict and number 2 are kidnapped.
Okay, all right. Marta, since Constance has been living in Mr. Benedict's home, how has that been for her? Has that been a good experience for her, or how would you describe that?
Yeah, I think that she really likes being at Mr. Benedict's house, and she has enough people and books and things, and I think in season 2, she gets more confident in the company. I mean, she's confident enough, but she gets more comfortable in the company, and she just doesn't want to show it.
Okay. How challenging is it for you, Constance, to not smile? Because you're smiling a lot already. In the show, she does not really smile a lot.
Yeah, she didn't really smile a lot in season 1, but we're going to see in season 2.
Spoiler. Smiles.
Seth, let's talk about Sticky for a minute. What has he learned over his time away that'll maybe help them in this quest to save Mr. Benedict and number 2?
One of the things I would say is not be so antisocial. In the first season, Sticky was really reserved and to himself. So in the second season, we can see Sticky like really work as a team with people rather than being a one-man show.
Okay. Emmy, I know I'd like a magic bucket. I think everybody want a magic bucket? But my question is first, what do you think Kate's instinct is first right off the bat when they hear about this kidnapping? What's her instinct to go into action?
I think Kate's first instinct is always to just run off and fix it herself. So the second she hears something happen, I feel like, what's going on in her head is, okay, how do I fix it? I mean, she's always looking for solutions, and I think that's just kind of who she is, yeah?
Yeah. How much do you think all your characters have changed from season 1 to season 2? Do you think they have changed?
Oh yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Rainy, particularly, he's grown more confident.
Sticky is still smart, so that's a
Yeah, Kate's slowly learning to work with other people.
Okay. Marta?
And as I said, well, Constance is feeling more comfortable in the company, but she just hides it behind her comfort mask, and she feels comfortable when she's being Constance. So, and there's a lot of changes for everybody in season 2, I think.
And as we saw in the part of the episode that we saw, the kids aren't really going to have Mr. Benedict or number 2 around, at least at the beginning, because they're not there. How are they going to pull all this together without that guidance?
Do they? I mean, it's pretty hard.
It might not. It might end horribly.
Yeah, you never know.
We've only seen the beginning.
You have to watch to find out.
Does the series even finish? I mean,
Kristen, so number 2 we know has a lot of skills and talents. We saw a little bit in here. She can also saw logs. We saw a little clip. Talk about shooting that. What was that day like for you? I don't know how many logs you actually had to saw. Or can you talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, that was exciting. In that scene, we got to train with a professional log star. What's he? A lumberjack from.
Yeah, lumberjack. Just say log star.
Now I am. I said log star, but a log star from Minneapolis. He looked like he was in a black death metal band from Norway, and I cannot remember his name. And he was wonderful, and he is actually in that scene. He's the winner, but he from Minneapolis, and so we learned how to like go back and forth, and Mumea and I have a good rhythm together. But that scream, I'll never forget it, because James Bobin directed that episode, and I think he made me do that scream like 15 times. He's like the Kubrick all of a sudden that day. Like, it's so torturous. Like, he's one of my favorite people on earth. But
And we mixed in just a touch of
oh
Falcon.
yeah.
There's a tiny bit of real Falcon cry mixed in, Jen.
Oh, I kind of thought that
You
I
should have told
did
James that.
that on my
He could do it someday.
Yes, TV's not real.
Let me ask the producers, in the writer's room, when you're thinking of these things that you could have your cast do, is there like a laundry list of things? Like, who wanted to see Kristen saw some logs?
I was sending them videos all summer of professional lumberjacking competitions, and I was like, this must find its way in somehow.
All 4 of us have some bizarre thing that we've all tried to get in some show or movie for years, and we were like, this is the home for it. For me, it's a dirigible. It's a travel by a blimp. And we get to do this thing, and I'm so excited.
Kristen, let me come back to you. So we saw that number 2 and Benedict are kidnapped. How does she particularly handle being kidnapped?
Not well. You can't cage number 2 without a fight. But the fight's gonna be, a logical one. She's gonna try to use her smarts to get out of it. But yeah, she's mad as hell. God, I'm still mad.
And Tony, on the other hand, how does Benedict handle it? Especially, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's so lovable that at first I think he thinks it's one of his benefactors that's bringing us to a dinner or something like that. But it's not. First of all, thank you guys for coming. We love our show. We really appreciate you being here. But Benedict is just, he's full of joy, and I don't think he's always trying to see the positive. Like, hey,
That's the problem.
it's
It's irritating me now.
it's a free ride somewhere. But then it's him.
Okay, and I love when you're playing either character. It's so distinct, but I want to know, how do you get there? Is it just once you're inherent
So much pain and trauma. Lots of trauma. Getting there, I will say, there's, we are very thankful to be on the show, but we're a slice of the pie of this show. Hair, makeup, production design, wardrobe, these guys are at the top of their game. So it's like, they really are. So even like, even Curtin's world is like blues and darks, and Benedict's world is very warm and joyful. And so when you're kind of in the wardrobe and the wig and the set design, you can't help but kind of morph to that character. But there's little things like Benedict's posture is atrocious, and then Curtin is very kind of tightly wound. But one thing I was saying earlier is that when Curtin talks to somebody, he's not really listening to them. He's just kind of speaking at them. And then Benedict is always engaged and actually listening to them.
Okay. How would you say, we didn't see Curtin in what we've seen so far, but has he changed from season 1 to season 2?
Well, we think he's changed. Like this is what's baffling, is we ended our first season where we thought we solved the emergency. We thought we were done with Curtin. And then he freaking reinvents himself as a self-help guru selling happiness. So we're just like, sorry? And Benedict, I will say, Benedict's not that joyful of talk because he's kind of resentful to Curtin because he kind of took the credit. But it's like Curtin, you see the cracks in the veneer as it goes along,
Okay. And as far as this joy, we do see something in the first episode where he exhibits a lot of joy.
Yeah, well, see, Curtin, I had a talk with Phil and Matt and Todd and Darren about how Curtin is so tightly wound that we kind of thought he needed some form of expression. And so he has a dance number. Yeah. Are we going to see that now?
Wouldn't it be great if we could see that clip?
Yeah.
I think we can.
Yeah.
I guess we would just make all that up on the spot.
On the spot.
Yeah?
Didn't you twist your ankle that week?
I did. The
Yeah.
years before I twisted my ankle.
I feel that was part of it. I think you were using that.
I was using that.
Yes.
But that was choreographed by just this wonderful lady who I'm blanking on her name right away, but she was lovely.
Kristen Schaal.
Kristen Schaal. Thank you, Kristen. That was so nice of you.
You know what? I give you the moves.
Yeah. And so, but it was really fun. And I love that he has that, behind closed doors, he has that expression.
And if Dancing with the Stars calls?
Well, that's not gonna happen.
Okay. Drawing the line, I like it. Also, I personally love the music that's throughout the show. Stevie Nicks, as in Jefferson Starship, I know there's more coming. Can you guys talk to who's the music supervisor and...
Well, the music supervisor is Randall Poster, who is probably the most legendary music supervisor there is, who did all of Wes Anderson's movies and does all these things that have this wonderful landscape. And I think, again, the four of us all have like this real affinity for like the first season was kind of like, we talk about how it's like music that we hear in the backseat of our parents' cars, like AM radio. There's a world full of like just super positive jams, it's what we listen to. And this year it gets a little more into the 80s, like a little more slinky synthesizer stuff, like Stevie Nicks. But there's definitely songs, again, each of us have a thing that we're like, I gotta get Find Your Way Back into the show. And the rest of us were like, we'll do it, okay.
And I will say, Phil's giving props to Randall Poster, but these two guys come up with smash hits again and again. I mean, all four of us do it, really. And this Find Stand Back.
Stand Back was, but when I would say this, when the first idea, we were sitting in my backyard and we were just hanging out, and Tony was like, I think I need to dance.
And that's when Phil wrote Stand Back.
That's when I wrote Stand Back with Stevie Nicks. Phil. And immediately came to mind, I was like, it's gotta be Stand Back. It's gotta be. He was like, okay. So, and it really went from that right to this record.
Okay. Well, not to put the younger cast totally on the spot, but when you hear that music, are you curious where it comes from, or you know it really well? But
At the museum, like you found it in a museum.
Have you guys heard that? Have you ever heard that song before?
You know what? I haven't heard it, but it is going on the playlist. I feel like it just triggers an emotion that I've never felt before.
I feel like I must have. I mean, this is a type of music that I listened to all the time when I was younger. And I mean that. Everyone's laughing. I don't know why. I like the radio that was always on in the car was like best hits, 80s and 90s. So it was like my favorite music. So I used to listen to things like all of that. Now I listen to indie bands.
Me personally, I love the song. It's my favorite song. I listen to it all the time.
I don't believe that.
Marta, anything you want to add here?
I think I heard that song on a TV channel with like songs from like old songs. Yeah, and I think I heard that one, but I think it's a cool one to dance with.
All right.
Thank you, Marta.
For the producers, can you just talk about shaping season 2 a little bit? As far as how closely are you sticking to the books? Are we going in our own direction now? Where are we at for season 2?
So season two has the same spine and structure as The Perilous Journey, but we add a lot of stuff that's not in the book, and the whole concept of happiness is a new concept. In the book, you never saw Benedict and Curtin together for the majority of the book, so that was something immediately we said, no, you have to see that journey and what it's like with these brothers together, and we're going to learn so much of their history, and a lot of the trauma that we saw in season 1 when they were little kids is going to play out now. So it's I just have to say, the show is such a labor of love for all of us involved in this. We've been doing this a long time, but this show is very special, and I think everyone that works on it feels it. And Matt and Phil, when we read your first 2 scripts, we were so blown away. And I read this book to my daughter, so I am so blessed to be standing here with you guys with this show. It's great.
Thank you. Just to add to that, I think we looked at the second book, The Perilous Journey. We knew because of like developments of the first season that there just wasn't going to be a way to like do the book, period. But we were like, what are the things that because we're fans first. So what are the things that we need to see? And it was like the shortcut, the world's fastest ocean liner, the characters Cannonball and Captain Noland. And so those of you who know and love the book, the second book, you're going to see a lot of that in there, and then hopefully just melded with all this other stuff Todd's talking about as well that we want to bring to it.
And once you worked with the cast for the first season, did that shape what you wanted to do in season 2? Once you could really see what they were all capable of, did it change things at all and what we'll see?
Oh yeah, I think we all like just are so we're so excited to see what happened when these guys all became the Mysterious Benedict Society, and they're in person, like you can see, they're the most like interesting, cool people, and so we're like, they've kind of become them and the character, and it's this like amazing sort of just a combination of them. So like we're now at that stage. The fun thing about doing another season, and this is so true with Tony and Kristen, and like Tony, we always go through all the scripts with him. We talk, in a very deep level about everything. It's like we're all doing this together now, and we're kind of drawing inspiration from each other, and that's what's really fun. It's like, oh, I can just see Emmy doing this. I can just see, Marta doing this.
It's also really exciting too, because I realized that first season there are such powerful messages that come out of the show. The first season was, especially in the middle of the pandemic, kind of the truth rising above all the noise and the chaos that was going on. And then this season, the whole idea of Curtin selling this idea of happiness. And what Benedict brings to the table is true, authentic happiness, which is a whole spectrum of emotions. And to me, that is just so relatable in today's society of, not bashing social media, but technology is just selling this idea of happiness. You need this, and it's quick. That's not authentic happiness. Authentic happiness is the whole range of emotions. So it's to see that contrast played out in this story, that's pretty cool to be a part of.
Yeah. Who of the cast got to work on the iconic Queen Mary's ship? Show of hands. Who all got to work on that ship?
Yeah, we got to work on it. It's pretty great.
Okay, Marta, I'm going to start with you though, because I hear maybe the experience wasn't all smooth sailing on the Queen Mary.
Well, I really liked it on the Queen Mary, even though people say it's haunted, and we felt some moments when we felt that there were ghosts around us. And one time my mom was going down the stairs, and she felt like somebody pushed her, but nobody was there, so I'm sure that was a ghost. But it was still really interesting to learn the story of the ship, of course.
Yeah, ship's super cool. The whole area is really awesome. It was, we got to see most of the ship. We took like a tour at some point, and they told us about some of the history, and it's really impressive. It's crazy. I mean, the ship's huge and it's done so much. Okay.
Yeah, the ship's haunted. Definitely many things that went on in that ship, I'd have to say. But filming there was incredible. I mean, you know, working on the water was cold. But no, it was cool. We got to walk all around the ship. We went from the top and worked our way down. But yeah, it was really cool to film it.
Yeah, there was, like, next to the schoolroom, there was this really creepy elevator. When we went in it, like, it would creak. I don't know if that was just poor maintenance or a ghost, but it was really scary.
In general, because you guys, there are scenes that are full of danger and they're scary scenes. Who actually gets a little freaked out by that stuff? Anybody?
I do when I was in there. Listen, I don't play when it comes to that. Come on, man. There's some stuff we don't know about. We all don't know about.
I don't know, the ghosts were chill with me.
They were chill with you, but not with me. They did something with me. Never right after that shit. The engine room, creepy. A lot of weird things. But I think aside from the ghost stories and all the weird things and doors closing by themselves, it was pretty cool. I liked it.
Tony, you keep shaking your head like no.
I'm just so glad I wasn't there.
There's a lot of scenes where everybody's kind of literally running around, like through the house and other places. How much choreography goes into that, where you all have to know exactly who's going to cross with who and which direction? Is that a complicated day for you guys?
Yes, there's a lot of choreography.
Yeah, a lot of days are complicated, but we pulled through, and you know, with the help of the great directors and the PAs and everybody around us, we get through the day, and yeah, go PAs and all the directors.
Yeah.
I agree with Emmy.
I'm thankful for all like the exercise and all the running around, because like on set they have crafty where they have free food, and like last season I got chubbier. So I am thankful for all the exercise.
Who does something,
Tony and Kristen, I'm personally a fan of all your work. I know a lot of people here are. Is there room in shooting for you guys to improv a little bit or go off script and just go with your kind of internal instincts at times? Or any chance of that when you're filming?
Tony tells me to ignore my instincts, shut them down, and that's, I think that's right.
And that's okay.
Yeah. This character is, number 2 is smarter than me, so it's harder to improvise, to be honest, because the vocabulary is so elevated that I just have to like, say what they wrote.
Sorry.
But I'm grateful for it.
I remember you bit into a lemon, and that was purely improvised.
Yeah, if it's a nonverbal thing, like biting a lemon, I'll bite a lemon. They didn't know I was gonna do that.
I think we have some new faces this season as well. For the producers, can you talk about any of the characters that we're meeting? I don't know how spoilery.
Yeah, sure. From the book, so there's Captain Nolan and Cannonball, I mentioned, who are this great pair played by Fred Melamed and Joel De La Fuente, who are amazing. And Bronson Pinchot shows up. Wow. Hilarious. I won't say what his part is, but he's a very put-upon character.
And we also have a llama. A llama guest.
An alpaca.
Haley Joel Osment, ladies and gentlemen, from The Sixth Sense.
That's right. Haley Joel Osment. Yeah. So we had a chance to have all these like amazing people come in and do. We always say like we want this show to be the show where the character that shows up in another show would just be like walking past in the background. We're like, we'll follow you for a minute and see what your life is like. So that's how you get all these great actors to show up for some of these.
Yeah, if you step into someone's place of business in the show, they're going to have an opinion.
You're going to learn about their grievances, that's for sure.
being in LA, I mean, that was a great part about being in LA is that we were able to draw on such a big community of actors and just really great cast art.
Yeah, because season 1 was Vancouver, season 2, Los Angeles, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Was that any different for the actors at all, or did it feel any different?
Yeah, it was great because the first season we were so excited to do the show, and then the pandemic hit, and so we all went to Vancouver, and we couldn't come back home for about 6 months, and so that was tricky. But this season shooting in LA just was fantastic. It's so close to family, really great.
Anyone else?
Yeah. Vancouver, I love Vancouver. I like the weather a lot. It rained. I like the rain. And there were so many cool places there, but it was great being back home because I want to say here. I keep forgetting I'm not in LA right now. My friends are all back in LA, and it was cool being able to film the show and then still be able to hang out with them because I fell out of touch with a lot of people in the first season. So it was nice just getting to be there. Hi, they're probably watching right now. Hello.
Yeah, I would have to say shooting in Vancouver was, a little different, dealing with protocols and everything. I mean, everybody had a mask on. We could not eat next to each other. Somebody take their mask off and say hi, and you'd be like, who are you again? I think it was like that for everybody. But definitely filming in LA was a lot better, closer to home for me at least, and it's warm. It's not raining 24/7, which is a plus.
I liked filming in Vancouver better because of the rain. And also...
Sounds like a dark group.
Yeah, the rain. But it was harder, I'd say, because like Seth said, all the COVID protocols and everyone wearing a mask.
Do you know what's wild though is the crew of Vancouver put together a book, and they had pictures. Each crew member had a picture of them with the mask, and then they did a picture without the mask, because none of us saw their faces. We shot for maybe 5 months, I guess, and we would, if they took off their mask and we saw them in grocery store, we wouldn't know who they were for 5 months. It was really wild.
Sad times.
Marta, did you have something you wanted to say?
Yeah, for me, both Vancouver and Los Angeles was really new and a lot of experience because it was my second time in Los Angeles, and Vancouver was also my first time. And both are really different. In Vancouver, I went skiing with Emmy, and
That did happen.
she said that did happen, and we went skiing, and of course I like the rain too, as everybody in this group. And it was really fun to go to Los Angeles too, because I have a lot of friends in Los Angeles, and it's really warm in here, and the ocean, and both of the cities were really new to me and a lot of experience.
And I just wanted to do a shout out to these kids because they are so adaptable, and you guys are such good actors, and they forget that they have to go to school every day when they're shooting. So it's incredible that you guys deliver these amazing performances. They're beautiful human beings, and I think we should all clap for them.
To describe season 2. I'm going to start all the way at the end with Darren. One word for season 2.
Adventurous.
European.
Got a pile on here with globetrotting. Hyphen it. Delightful.
Roller coaster, because it has a lot of unexpected turns.
Funny.
I'm gonna say weird.
Benedictive.
That was the last one. Trapped.
This is a number, but I'm gonna say a 180.
That's a good way to have it. Okay, so you guys, season 2 of the Mysterious Benedict Society premieres with 2 episodes on October 26th. Then an episode drops every week on Disney+. Thank you, everybody.
be working